Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Who Is. This is the fourth episode of my new series, joined with another very good special guest. If you guys haven't, go check out the other three videos because it kind of leads into this one. You know, they all kind of lead into each other a little bit. So I hope that you guys love this content because I love interviewing these solo interviews. But let's get into it. The way I like to do introductions is I just like to start off with the first question. Who are you?
Who am I? I guess my name is Mitchell. I'm from the All In podcast. So previous episodes, you did Kevin and the League Dad, and those are my buddies. I do a podcast with them on League of Legends esports, mainly focusing on the North American scene, LCS. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm a 27-year-old dude, aspiring software engineer, looking for work. Otherwise, just big chillin'. I play a lot of League, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about myself.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, so that's actually cool. So what do you mean software engineer? So like, are you like trying to make new apps, or are you like trying to make new like what can we dive into that just a little bit? What do you mean by that?
Sure, yeah. So software engineer is a pretty broad topic, so it's fair to ask like for more detail. I'm looking to focus on app development,
Oh,
specifically
okay.
with Android. So I work with Android Studio. The language I code in is called Kotlin. It's very similar to Java, and yeah, I'm just looking to make Android apps. Like right now, I'm working on an Android app, kind of like for myself to put on my resume. But I'm looking for a job where like I work for a big company that has an Android app, and I like will maintain it. I'll put updates on it. But otherwise, it's just for the most part, it's just hopefully a good job that pays decently. Yeah. So
Okay. That's
yeah,
weird because I was just gonna say there's a lot of software engineering. I know a few of my other
yeah,
buddies want
there
to do
is.
something of like building computers and stuff like that and stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but that's can I want to dive just a little bit more into that if that's fine with you.
Sure. Yeah.
When did you decide that's what you wanted to do as a career?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I started my career doing sales. It was right out of college. Um, I graduated in 2019, and then I got a sales job right out of college. I thought it would be fun. They said that I could travel a lot. They would, expense me to go to like other states, and I could, get free hotels and stuff like that. And I would just be talking to lots of people, selling lots of things. I was young, straight out of college. I wanted to talk to pretty girls, like, and just hang out
Right.
around the country. And then pandemic hit. Boom, my job
Oh,
was just like totally effed. My company shut down because you can't really talk to people during the pandemic in person.
right.
And then I switched at the end of towards the sort of middle endish of the pandemic. Um, I got into data analytics. My uncle helped me get a job in San Jose, California, at a company called Supermicro, and I did some data stuff, did some a lot of analytics. My major in college was mathematics. I had a bachelor in math. So I did that for about a little over a year or so, and I just made a bunch of friends in San Jose area. Realized I had an affinity for coding. Was hearing that they were making a shit ton of money, like way more than I was making, and I was like, you know what? That's what I want to do. I want to do the thing that makes a lot of money that I'm like maybe I could learn and be okay at. So yeah, that's kind of the journey. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. No, that's
Yep.
that's dope. You going into one thing and then you're like, just life happens,
Yep.
having to switch to the next thing.
Yep.
I'm glad that you found something though. That's awesome that you found something. Some people just they're like, time to just move on with life and do
Yeah.
whatever. No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now let's go into the more of the gaming side. When did you start playing League of Legends? What season, if you remember? Were you? I think League Dad was telling me that you and Kevin are junglers. Were you originally a jungler, or were you in a different role?
Yeah. Uh,
What's going on with that? Because I'm very interested. Because I'm a long time League of Legends player.
yeah. I am too. I've played, I'm pretty sure, since season one. I was 15 years old when I first started playing. Um, I actually didn't play any role. I only played. Only the OG fans will know this. I only played a game mode called Dominion. Uh, yeah, yeah,
Okay. That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
Super old game mode is like kind of like capture the flag for fans who don't know about this game mode. But it was like I found Summoner's Rift boring. I didn't like laning phase, so I played top lane. I only played Garen and Xin Zhao top lane for a while. I think the first time I played was when Xin Zhao was released, like literally like a few days after his release, and I only
Okay.
spammed him. And so that was fun. But I was just like, oh, Dominion's fast paced. I don't have to like farm minions or lane. I can just get in there and start fighting. Um, and then Dominion died, and I had to go back to Summoner's Rift. And I was like, you know what, jungle. I don't have to farm. I can just fight all the time, right? I don't have to like deal with that laning bullshit. So
Okay.
that's what got me in there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Rip Dominion. That was a very
yeah.
good map.
It's the
The
best.
OGs also remember hide and seek on that map as well, playing.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
the custom game
Custom
modes were like the
mode.
best. Yeah,
Bring back Dominion for just a weekend, please, Riot. Please.
dude, permanently bring it back. I'll play it all the time. Bring it back permanently.
I play it more
Yeah,
than I play ARAM right now.
yeah, yeah.
Well, since we're talking about League, what made you like get onto Reddit and say, you know what, I'm gonna try to join this podcast?
Mm.
What kind of? I want to know the decisions behind your choice of doing that because it was obviously not you like starting your own. It was you trying to join one. So, what made you have that decision?
Yeah, it was, I would say, pretty spur of the moment. I just saw the Reddit post, and yeah, I was always like really into League. I like watched it competitively just on my own, but I didn't have like a community or friends to talk about it with. Like, you know, since I've been playing since season one, and I like got onto Reddit at a very young age, like I was like witnessing all the weird stuff that happened. Like Doublift was very iconic, right? He got kicked out of his house, made a Reddit post. Travis picked him up. Like I was watching all that. I didn't do anything about it, but I was like witnessing it as
Right.
like a little 15, 16-year-old. Um, so when I saw this Reddit post to join a podcast, like I had already tried to join like an amateur team in my college, failed spectacularly. Uh, so I felt like this was a different avenue I could take to like do some league stuff. Like I had like that dream in the back of my mind that like I wanted to still maybe become a pro player. I wanted to still maybe like I don't know, work for Riot someday or try to work for esports. So I was like, oh, this is a good extracurricular path. And yeah, I just like said a bunch of random shit in his like little questionnaire. He liked it. He hit me up, and it just flew off afterwards.
Oh, that's dope. Uh,
Yeah.
I want to kind of pick in at that uh, amateur. What happened there? So you said it was a fail. Was it like a you just went in and played bad, or was it just wasn't a right environment for you?
Yeah, so I've played an amateur a couple of times. The first time I played was in college. I think I was like a plat player amongst a bunch of silver and gold players, and it was just random people that I got paired up with. And every game we played, my entire team was getting absolutely blasted. And
Oh, great.
yeah, so it was like I would do, I think, okay and fine, but like I was mostly playing against other like plat players, and like my silver and gold buddies couldn't keep up. We had like no drive or direction of like wanting to improve or like practice or scrim or like have cohesiveness at all. So I did it for like 6 months, I think, and I had like two different teams during that, and just no one gave a shit except me, and I barely gave a shit too. I was just kind of like, I don't know, let's just fight. Like I just wanted to play more. I didn't have any sense of like shot calling or macro back then. But I did have a more impressive stint in amateur years later after college during the pandemic. I joined like a more like legitimate amateur team. This was with the help with Alistair, another member of our podcast. And yeah, we actually did stuff in that one. We joined a couple leagues, and we were the top of the league for both. We joined two leagues. We were the top of the league for both of them. Second place in one, and then like first in the other, I think.
Oh, hell
But
yeah.
we just blew up in playoffs. We like literally like went. I think yeah. Oh, for one of the leagues, we literally pooped out. We were the second seed. We just went 0-3 in our first series. We're just out.
Oh,
Yeah, and then the second one, I had to leave because I was like trying to get a job, and I was so mentally like boomed from the team that I just had to leave partway through. So I never saw through the second team all the way through. Yeah.
Do you have any regrets on that, or was it kind of like you needed to take that moment, or you actually would have mental boomed more?
Definitely, I would have mental boomed more because I was like during pandemic, we were all isolated as hell. Like I was
Right.
super isolated. I was like what 23 or 4 I think, or so. I was pretty young still, right? I mean, I'm still young, but like I was like not very mature during this pandemic phase, and um yeah, I think it was a bad environment for me too, like with my teammates as well. Like we were all young adults in a
Mm-hmm.
pandemic trying to figure this shit out. So I don't blame anybody. I don't even blame myself. I just felt like it was bad timing. I do oftentimes think about small moments in game of like choices I could have made, because like I was like the main shot caller of the team. I was the jungler. I played mostly supportive jungler, so like I think a lot about like these engages I messed up, or like these calls I made that were bad and stuff. Like I think about that stuff all the time. Like, man, we should have just pushed for the Nexus instead of going for Elder Dragon or something like that. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think we all have those moments though. And sometimes, like I'll have I already think about it because I played in Hoopfest this past weekend. Even though we
Yeah.
won, there were still a few moments where I was like, I definitely could have done something better in this moment.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
definitely understand that. But also, I just wanted to give a quick little sneak peek. I will also be interviewing Alistar in
Ooh.
August.
August. Hell yeah. That's a while from
So
now. Yeah.
I want you guys to be stay tuned for that. He just said he wants to have a better setup. You know what I mean, to record and stuff. Yeah, I'll give that to him. That's fine. Shout out to Alistar for all that too, and League Dead and Kevin for coming on
Yeah.
as well. Epic Kitty Face from the not from the All In podcast, but still
Yeah.
coming on, you guys. All right, let's get on. What kind of problems, or I don't want to say problems, but hardships did you have with the podcast in your personal life? Have you had any, or has it all been kind of smooth? Or
Um. Let's see. I mean, it's been mostly smooth. I would say, um, definitely like in college, early years, like esports and like nerd culture wasn't very prominent. So I remember my girlfriend at the time thought it was kind of weird, but also cool. Like she thought it was like bizarre that I did a podcast on like this thing no one knew anything about, and like she also was kind of like, I wouldn't say weirded out, but like I guess baffled that it existed, that like people played professionally for millions of dollars to sit in a chair and play video games. So like I got a little bit of that. I got a little bit from like my friends and other people. I had roommates too, so they're all like, you know, I would have to be like, yo, can you guys be quiet for just like an hour? I gotta do a podcast. They'd be all like, no, fuck you. I'd be like, all right, whatever. What am I gonna do about it, right?
Yeah, right.
So I mean that's about it. Other times it's like, I haven't done I've stepped away from the podcast multiple times because I've had like work and stuff, and I was just like not trying to do it. So I think there was a big gap in like my last year of college and like the start of like right when I exit. So like 2 years or maybe a year and a half where I didn't do the podcast for a bit. We've had like a lot, like Kevin and me are OGs. Like we've been doing it together since like for like 5-6 years, but like we've had a lot of people come and go throughout the years. Like Alistair is like, he's been around for a couple of years, but he's a slightly more new addition. We had 2 other dudes who were like much more prominent back in the day that aren't around anymore. I don't even know where they are. So we've had our ups and downs.
Right. Oh, that kind of leads me into this next question. How has your guys' relationship mended, all 4 of you guys? Because you guys, like League Dad was saying, you guys are just 4 random dudes who
Yeah.
are all online, who live 4 different lives. And he said, I think he's only met you and Alistar in person.
Yeah.
And he still hasn't met Kevin. And you guys
Yeah.
have been doing this podcast for years. So how does that kind of mended as an online relationship, like as a friendship and stuff? How does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's pretty good. We're all like very reasonable people. Like I think over the past times, we've had like a couple moments of friction and argument, but like it all settles itself very calmly. Like there's literally like we'll argue and then there's no like like nothing happens after. Like it's just an argument about something and then it just goes away and like we're done. So I think that's pretty dope. Like you don't always see that. Like even in work, right, at your job, you have an argument with a coworker and then like hold on to that, so they'll have like a grudge on you for like years and you're like, what, I forgot about that. But like I mean like we're pretty chill. So I've met Kevin. He actually lives in the Bay Area. We both don't leave the house a lot, so even though we live near each other, like we don't really hang out. So I mean that's whatever, I guess. And then League Dad, he did visit San Jose once. We like got a drink and that was pretty cool. And I've never met Alistair, but for Alistair actually, he joined the podcast and was just like chatting a lot in Discord, and he helped me. Actually, he was like my entrance into like those amateur teams I was talking to you about in quarantine. He like got me onto those amateur teams and like into like an amateur org and stuff. And then like I kind of advocated for him to like be on our podcast as like, you know, he's our highest ranked player. He's like master tier. Like he actually plays like semi competitively, right? Or like fully competitively, depending on how you judge those things. So I would say like me and Kevin, like we play a lot of ARAMs together, but he's got his own friend group kind of thing. But like we talk a lot about the game. Me and League Dad, we're like actually homies who like we wake up super early in the morning to play League together, ARAM together. So that's pretty cool too. And then like me and Alistair, it's like we used to have a lot of interactions in like just amateur team stuff. Like I think maybe he might mention it, maybe he won't. I don't know. I'll mention it because I'm pretty proud of it. But like I convinced him to like I don't know about like join these amateur teams, but like have a bigger say in it. Like I remember when he first started playing in amateur teams, like maybe he didn't know quite how to fit in, and like I just gave him some very brief, quick pointers, and like he fit in naturally, and now he's like excelling very well in the amateur scene. I remember talking to him about like joining a college and applying for a scholarship to play on an amateur team. So I think like I mean, he made all the decisions and choices and did everything on his own. But like I say, I would have like I had like a supporting friend voice where I was like, "Yeah, dude, go for it. I think you're good enough. Like I think this is a good enough path. Just like get a scholarship, go to this college, and play League of Legends for it. Like, yeah, that's wild, dude. Do it." So our relationships I have with all the other podcast members is very, very different, but we're all like friends. It's pretty cool. We all helped each other out. We all like been there for each other for various random things, but. I mean, yeah, the main thing that brings us together is just talking about League. So
right, and that's the one thing that I like love is because I'm glad that you guys started this whole thing because you know I never really had an outlet to talk with professional League of Legends. Some of my friends they watch it, but they're just casual watchers. They'll have it on if we're streaming it in Discord or whatever, and
yeah,
you know, they know some of the orgs, Cloud9, TSM, all the OGs and stuff like that. So I'm definitely glad you guys made this podcast group in Discord and stuff. But I'm gonna ask the hard question, and you don't have to answer it. You don't have to answer it at all.
All right.
Who is your favorite co-caster on your guys' podcast? Which one's your favorite out of the three?
Oh, definitely me, right? Is that an
answer? You know what? That's fair enough. That's super fair. That's a fair answer. You're your own favorite. I get.
Yeah, because then I also don't have to pick a favorite too, right?
That is true. That is true. That's the safest answer. Answer. No, I get it. You guys are all do the best. You guys are all my favorite, except for League Dad. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, true. What does he even bring to the table, right?
For real, but he's
not even questions. A TSM fan.
Yeah, he's not even. He just asks questions. What does he do?
Yeah.
You know what does he do? No, shout out League Dad for real. He actually does a lot. Just so you guys know, he does.
I mean, he does. He basically does the entire thing, right? He produces the thing, he edits it, he gets us on track stuff. So yeah, he's a pretty big deal.
he does everything. We're definitely not discrediting him, but no, I think that's about all the questions I have for you. I think that this is a great interview, and I'm glad you took the time to sit down and spend some time with me, have a personal conversation because, like I said with the other two, I haven't had personal conversations with them two in the All In
Mhm.
podcast. Epic Kitty Face is different. I'm one of his good friends. I conversate with him
Okay.
every day. But you guys, I don't. And so I'm glad
Yeah.
that you guys were able to sit down and talk with me. I guess I do have one more question, and then like kind of thing. What is your overall goal for the pod that you have for the podcast? I guess, and then just for like main life. Like, what's your overall goal?
Yeah, those are tough questions. Those are good ones. Okay, so I'll start with the podcast. So my main goal with the podcast, it's kind of developing. I'm not really sure where to go, but one things I want to start doing is like making more solo content for myself on the podcast because I think everybody else is kind of getting busier. Kevin's got a job. Alistair's got a summer job. The league dad's trying to get more into coaching and stuff, so they don't really have a lot of time. I'm still looking for a job, so I'm trying to make more solo content and push that out there, and maybe step the waters into like getting into streaming and like being some sort of league influencer in that sense. I'm just testing the waters right now, but that's kind of where I'm looking at. I want to like, up the production value a bit, so I'm maybe gonna make some TikToks or YouTube shorts
Okay.
or do some video editing. Do all the basic influencer stuff you hear about.
Right.
Still working it out. I procrastinate a lot. So
Me too,
that's the
me too.
podcast. Yeah. It's very common. We all procrastinate. Yeah, so that's the podcast. I think for life stuff, just get a job and kind of get a place. I want to buy a house at some point. So I'm trying to figure out where to buy it and how much, I have to get the money to do that as well. So I guess that's my life goal. I don't even know what else to say my life goal. I want to travel a lot before the world ends. That'd be dope. And make money, make friends, have adventures. Pretty much it. Nothing too complicated. Yeah.
Play League of Legends.
Yeah, that too. I want to go to if I get a job soon-ish, I'm gonna try and go to Worlds for South Korea this year. Yeah,
that could
yeah.
be super cool.
I think that'd be so fun.
Keep me updated on that, because if you do, I'm gonna force you to get an autograph from Faker.
Oh, I'm gonna force myself to do it, dude. I'm gonna run at him and be like, I'm a normal fan. I swear, I'm not gonna kill you. Please give me an autograph. Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
No, that's sweet. If you do that, dude, that'll be super awesome. And I hope one day we do get to meet in person. I do plan on making a few trips in the next couple of time, and then next year or two. One of them's to Chicago, and then one of them is to San Francisco and like LA, stuff like that around there. So hopefully I can meet up with both you and Kevin. Maybe we can all link together at the same time, so it's not like individual and stuff like that.
No, yeah, that would be really cool. Because especially like I think Kevin is definitely staying in the Bay Area for quite a while. He just got a job there, so like if we all met up there. Kevin just got a big job, maybe he'll buy us both dinner. That'd be great. I'm broke as hell, so.
Come on, Kev. Pay for our dinner, bro.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for coming out and spending the time, Mitchell.
Hell yeah.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of Who Is. If you guys like this content, don't forget to don't forget to leave a comment of your favorite part of this episode, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell. Also go tap into the All In podcast in their Discord. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.